All right. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tomboy Official. I don't know. I think I'm a little stoned. Probably. I probably am. But yeah, I got some socializing to do coming up in the next month or two. Excited about it. Yeah, I kind of noticed whenever I talk to friends or talk to not so much coworkers. I mean, I have some friends that are coworkers, but not so much them. Just because usually when I'm working, it's hard to be talking to coworkers. But I have a couple coworkers that I talk to during work. But just because we're remote, it's kind of sometimes we talk a lot, and then other times we don't talk for weeks. So it's kind of whatever. But yeah. So Tuesday, I've got this upcoming Taco Tuesday at a gay bar I'm going to. I haven't been to every gay bar in Long Beach. I've been to Executive Suites, the club, I don't know how many times. I know I went to one of their drag nights during the Rona, and it was outside seating only. I think they had food, kind of snack foods. I don't know if they had real meals and drinks. I remember going there when they had karaoke. It was low-key karaoke. This was I guess before the Rona. And then upstairs they had just a dance floor. And I think there was a time when they had I think this was the same day when they had karaoke downstairs. I think it's a 3-level place, they have 3 floors, but I think only 2 were open. There was the main dance floor area with the go-go dancer little stages or something. I don't know if they were platforms or what. I can't remember. And then there was the downstairs main floor had karaoke. I can't remember if it had a pool table, but I know it had karaoke. And they didn't have a screen though, I don't think, but just a mic. And I want to say there were drag queens hosting it. I can't remember. But there were a few people downstairs, and then upstairs they had the go-go dancers. I remember they were mostly Latina dancers. Pretty much all femme that I remember. And there were a lot of kind of Latina stud types of people. It's kind of interesting because it wasn't so the San Diego crowd. San Diego tends to be quite Caucasian, quite majority kind of femmes kind of. But I've noticed with lesbians anyways, let's just generalize to say lesbians, because there's so many different categories. If I start going down the category list, it's anybody can be anything basically. But if I'm just thinking let's just keep it to lesbians, I've noticed overall kind of Latina and black kind of studs are kind of different from the Caucasian butch crowd. As far as mask presenting females, I feel Latina and black kind of have less I guess flexibility, stereotypically speaking. like there's a lot more taboos, I guess I would say. Like a lot more, like people kind of expect that you're going to be like mask. You're not going to be like kind of like maybe mask presenting, but like as far as like your clothing maybe, but then like quite femme. Like usually you don't see much of a STEM category. It's usually like pretty polarized, like the mask and the femme, people. And the energy's a little different too. Like it's not like aggressive, but it's like more like people kind of expect to be respected. Like there's a lot of kind of like, okay, if somebody's doing something that they shouldn't be doing, somebody's going to say something about it, and people can start arguments and stuff. Like I'm totally generalizing, but that's kind of the different vibe that I get between like San Diego compared to like Long Beach. And then if I say like WeHo, like everybody kind of ventures up to WeHo. And it's kind of like a very mixed crowd, but very like Caucasian male. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to go hang out down in Long Beach. I haven't really been down there in a while. It'll be a fun experience to kind of get some queer vibes on a Taco Tuesday kind of situation midweek. I'm meeting up with some people that I don't usually meet. A friend and their group of friends. Not sure how social I'll be. Not sure if I'll drink. I checked the Ubers. I mean, for a Saturday before, like, it's gonna be like, I think like 7:30 p.m. that I'll be there on a Tuesday night. So I gotta check the Ubers, like, to estimate a weeknight. But I mean, I have a friend that Ubers about that distance from near the area where my folks live to, like, she lives over in that area. I mean, I'm sure it's pricey, but I don't know how pricey, so I'm gonna check, because it is gonna be like a weekday night. The thing is like, I don't like to get surprised. I don't want to be like, get down there and have it be like $70 to come back, after like $20 one way. I don't know. I've got to see how much I plan on actually wanting to spend. Sometimes I just like the convenience of not having to drive. Long Beach has crappy parking. If there is parking, it's likely going to be a paid lot. I'd rather just get dropped off and picked up, honestly. It's not that far of a distance. And it should be after traffic. I mean, you never really know if there's going to be traffic, but it should be after. Like, if I left at 7, I should be able to get there by 7:30 with no issue. Or near 7, like within a window that's, like, reasonable. I think... like, I was gonna kind of look up to see what they do. Like, I'm kind of debating how well I want to get to know the kind of local queer bars. But Long Beach is probably the closest. It's closer than Hollywood, for sure. So, I do like to check out new spots. Like, there's another spot down there, Hamburger Mary's. I've been there. It was pretty good. They have cool food and just like drag shows. I've been there like twice, I think. Maybe 3 times. And I don't know if I've been anywhere else. I feel like I don't know. I think those are the 2 main places I've been that I know about, but I know there's a lot of places down there. So it's a pretty cool spot. There's one near me that I haven't gone to yet. It's a gay bar. It's like 10-15 minutes away. Haven't been yet. Uh, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth about meeting new people right now. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I kind of gave up on that whole like just for fun kind of category of people. Like I feel like I like I like that. I like the idea of it, but I don't know if I like to spend the energy on it. But one thing I do, I mean, the whole reason why I'm mentioning this, let's start there. Probably should have started there like 10 minutes ago. But the whole reason why this was kind of on my mind was that, you know, when I go to San Diego, I'm not really meeting new people necessarily anymore. I'm more like catching up with people that I know. And then in LA, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not really meeting new people, but I'm also not too much hanging out with the people I know. Not too much. Like, there are a few people that I know that I hang out with in LA, but I probably know way more people in LA, in all honesty. I just don't hang out with a lot of them. The majority of it is convenience reasons. It's not really that I don't like them or anything. And then second to that, like, there's just some people that I'm still kind of trying to navigate how we're gonna actually get together. Like, I could see us like snowboarding or like something pretty active, like getting people together to play, like pick up like a basketball game or like something, you know, where we're actually doing something, like, because it's kind of different. It's like they don't go to gay bars, they don't go to clubs or bars, they don't really drink. Like, we could go to movies, but it's like, I mean, if you haven't seen somebody, are you really gonna go to a movie to catch up? Dinner and a movie kind of thing, it just seems like too much effort, or too much like not so fun options of things to do that are a little too inconvenient for what it is, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna like get a game together, or like, you know, it would have to be something like planned. It couldn't be something that's like, let's all go to the Tupac exhibit or like whatever. Like, I don't know, there's just like so much we don't have in common, that we couldn't really pick. Like, I don't even know what type of food. Like, we used to go out to sushi a lot, obviously, but I don't even know who eats meat now. Like, do people eat fish? Like, I don't know. Like, people are kind of all over the place with it, so it's kind of like a little, like, I talk to them online and stuff a little bit, but other than that, it's like, you know, unless it's like a preset reunion type of thing, like maybe like if the church we grew up in has like a Christmas play or something, we might all show up to something like that. But I can't really see myself being the one to go out of the way to plan. And then the last couple things that they did plan that were like actually big kind of milestone event type things, I kind of just didn't go. Like, I was like, I don't know, like, I wasn't really in the mood to like catch up with a bunch of people, because, you know, sometimes those events like have a bunch of other people there that you don't really want to catch up with, like your friends. Yeah, that's cool, but then like their parents and their aunts and uncles, and like say for example, like I'll give an example, like a baby dedication or like a baby dedication, baby baptism kind of thing. It's stuff like that where it's like, okay, you go to that, you're not really going to be catching up with your friends, you're going to be like doing whatever that kind of event is. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm getting invited to, that I'm kind of like, like, I kind of just want to see them, but I don't really want to do like dinner and a movie kind of thing. Like, I'd rather just, I don't know, none of it's really my style like anymore. So like, I don't mind doing like dinner and movie type stuff with people that I actually see on a regular basis, But I feel like it's kind of awkward when you're just like catching up, and like it's not like we're gonna see each other every week. So like, why would I go out to dinner? Like to me, it's kind of just like too inconvenient. Like I'm not gonna drive like 90 minutes to go grab dinner, after work, and pay like $25 friggin' like parking and like, it's just a lot, like I'm like, that's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of effort. But I don't know, I do want to see my friends. I just don't want to make the effort. I'll put it that way. I don't want to make the effort, and I don't want it to be an effortful type of event. Like events that are kind of like okay, so if somebody planned like a poker night at their house or something, I'd go to something like that. Like something where it's like we're all like actually doing something. Like so it wouldn't have to be sports. It could be something just as casual as like a poker night, or like I don't know, man. We used to do all kinds of stuff though. We used to do like sparring. We used to play video games, like mostly go out to movies, roam around town, skate, practice skating. Played a lot of sports. If it was daytime, a lot of boba shops. Jeez, this area has so much boba. It's like we used to eat so much, go to so much boba shops, and like just like Japanese restaurants for like the smaller dishes and things. But yeah, we were never really like, let's go out and grab a drink kind of thing. Like that to me is kind of like the easiest thing. Let's go out and grab a drink. Like, but if you have people who don't go out and grab a drink, then it's like, well, what the heck? Like everything else is like a lot of work, It's like if we're not like at somebody's house just like chilling, or like actually like playing sports, or like hiking, or doing something, it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of weird. Definitely overthinking it, but it's kind of weird. But, yeah, I don't really see myself putting in too much effort with all that. And then when it comes to, kind of like, San Diego, like, yeah, I'm not meeting new people down there, but I do see some of my San Diego friends here and there in LA. Like, I mean, everybody comes up to LA, so it's like there are quite a few people that I see that I've seen in LA. Like when they came to LA, they told me, or like we had plans in LA, since that's where I'm at right now. And then when they would come up from San Diego, we'd like do whatever our plans were. So it's kind of, the San Diego crowd is kind of easier to see, just because like they're pretty stationary down there, and hanging out in San Diego is just so easy. Like everything's like within 15 minutes. It hardly even takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes to hardly get anywhere, unless you're in traffic. But like otherwise, like if you leave like 25 minutes before you need to be somewhere, you're usually going to be pretty early, and that includes finding parking and walking to wherever you're trying to get to. So at least from the places I lived, because I would usually try to live kind of central. But yeah, when I didn't, it took pretty long. Like I was in like over near like San Ysidro area at one point, and that was like pretty bad. Nothing was close. But that's pretty extreme. Like that's pretty close to the border. It was like 2 exits from the border or something. Like it wasn't that close to anything. It was close to Mexico basically. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about meeting new people. And like what I mean by meeting new people, I don't even mean the friend of my friend. I mean just like random people. Like I don't mind going to a bar where where so that's one thing that's kind of different with me, I guess. I guess LA compared to San Diego. Usually when I'm in San Diego, I'm with like a group of friends, and I don't really tend to really venture off too much. There's only one friend that, like, when I go with just that one person, then I'll maybe just talk to other people because I know they're kind of similar and they like to just kind of chit chat with people. So I'll kind of find people that we both kind of are vibing with and just kind of hang and talk. We talk to each other and then we'll talk to like other people, but not for like any specific reason, just because we both just like meeting random new people sometimes, you know. And sometimes we're just there because that's just what we're doing at the moment, and there's no like expectation for it to lead anywhere. um I think we're probably going to make a tradition out of San Francisco though, and when we go up to San Francisco, that's going to be different. um I think we were going to try to do that every year, but then the Rona hit and it wasn't really too possible. So I'm hoping maybe this summer, but we'll see, I guess, closer to June. But this summer should be pretty cool. Um, and me and that person, that friend of mine, you know, like, I don't know, I'm kind of weird about like I know, okay, so I'll put it this way. When I meet people at bars, clubs, whatever, like, I already know it's just for this is what we're doing for this moment. Like, all the stuff of like, oh, let's meet up later and all that. Like, you get one window for that kind of thing. It's like, if somebody sent this is just my own opinion on how it works, but I think I'm pretty accurate. I think I'm pretty accurate. So accurate about this, that when you go to like, say, a club or a bar or whatever, you're on a patio or whatever, like, just gay clubs. I don't know how the straight ones work, but the gay ones, you go, you talk to God only knows who, like, doesn't matter, guys, girls, like, whatever, you're talking to like everybody sometimes. It doesn't matter the gender. Sometimes people just pull you into their little bar table and just, you start just like talking to a group of like 4 or 5 random like gay guys, and like, you're just like talking, and then if you're like bar hopping a little bit or just talking to that crew, um and then maybe they'll go, like, say they're gonna take a lap or something and like go to the dance floor, and then you just never see them again, and then someone else overheard that conversation and they were at the table behind them, and then you end up taking over that table because the whole crew left, and now, I don't know, maybe your friends join, maybe somebody else joins, I don't know, like some random other person or whatever, and then you just basically just keep interacting with people all the time. And some people you can get their numbers or not or whatever, and then go with it or not. I mean, I don't know. I met these people. I don't know where I met them. I think we were in line somewhere at like Flicks. I don't know why I was in line at Flicks. I think I was in line at Flicks and just like talking to whoever, but I think it was like, at least the second bar I was at. Like, I think I was somewhere, left there after having some drinks or whatever, and then went to Flicks, and I was in line. I mean, some places I know I don't go by myself, but I think I probably had some friends that were already in there, and I went to go in there, but I was like waiting in line. So it was a long enough line that, like, I was talking to some people. We were having fun in line, like just talking and having fun. And we exchanged numbers, and I think I saw them later on once I was in there, like probably like an hour later or something. And they were like saying like, oh, we're gonna go, we do Sunday mornings, we wake up in the afternoon, we go to the beach, like at Coronado or something, and we just have like a little cooler of beer and just like drink some beers and like chill Sundays until like, I don't know, like, I don't know what time. And they were like, yeah, like drop by kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say is like that kind of situation where people exchange a number and they're like, we're literally doing this tomorrow, and like, if you want to join, kind of thing. I think that's the only window you really get. If you wanna join, you have to be like, yeah, tomorrow, we're gonna join tomorrow. Um, and that's it. Like, you can't be like, let me know if you're doing it next week. It's kind of like, like, I don't even know you and we just barely met, like, in line, it's like, so, like, you gotta do it while there's still momentum. Because like, after, like, 24 hours, I'm pretty sure the momentum is gone. Like, maybe I would give it 48 hours max if you actually had, like, a solid plan where it's like, hey, look, this is, like, a really busy night here, and I'm here with my friends, and, like, let's grab coffee on, like, whatever day, like 2 days from now. Like, say it's a Friday night and you want to grab coffee on like a Sunday within the same weekend. I feel like that kind of works. But the second people have to start working around their jobs or whatever, I'd say the only exception to that is if you hang out after the bar. Like the lucky people who live within walking distance of those places, or know like spots where you can like go within walking distance and hang out either in an apartment or like a courtyard or like, some rec room at an apartment complex or something, or like the pool even, or whatever. Anytime I've done something like that where it's like you go over to like someone's like nearby property where there's like they have a couple friends over or whatever, and it's like after the bar or after the club kind of thing, and you don't know the people, I feel like that is more like you can maybe still meet within the same couple weeks or something, and that is usually better. But I feel like anytime you meet like at a bar or a club or something, it's like immediate. It has to be like immediate, and then just keep the momentum going like immediately. So that's kind of my debate, is like I know how it is, and it's like, well, if I'm gonna meet people that, if I'm actually looking to meet people that I genuinely find interesting, that I want to get to know, I'm gonna have to meet, like, if it's strangers, not like friends of a friend, but like if it's complete strangers, um I'd have to meet them there, interact with them there, exchange some kind of contact info there, and then talk to them again like immediately within the next couple days, and then meet up with them a couple times probably within like 2 weeks or so. Like, to me that just doesn't sound like something I want to do. Like, the follow through does not sound appealing. And the friend I'm going with, I'll usually just read the room, read the situation. If they seem like they're there to actually like get to know people, and depending what this is like, it's a Tuesday night. Like, if they're actually gonna be there to meet people, how do I say this? Like, if they're there mingling, right, versus like we're just here real quick to grab a quick drink after work and just dish and like talk about work. I mean, if they just want to dish and talk about work or whatever, I'm probably just gonna go talk to other people, if there are other people there. And then depending what my friend is doing, I don't really know what it just kind of depends, because I might want to catch up with my friend. I might want to get to know their coworkers. It seems like coworkers or friends or whatever, like, it seems like when you meet friends of friends, like, usually you're gonna run into those people again, because people usually kind of hang out with the same crew of people mostly. So if I did want to hang out again, like kind of midweek kind of thing, I'm pretty sure that crew of people would do things again, because I'm pretty sure that this friend told me that they do stuff. It sounds not like every week, but it sounds like they do actually make plans and go through and do stuff. one thing I'm not used to is not being able to just easily Uber everywhere. Um, I mean, the whole time I've been pretty much hanging out at like gay bars, gay clubs, those types of spots, um, like actively to like interact with gay people in gay spaces, not just like going because the chicken tenders are better or whatever, like just actually going for like more sociable reasons. Um, like I think like the whole time I've been kind of going to those places, it's mostly been I think I've almost only gone with friends or to meet friends there. Um, but I don't know. Um, I don't know really how I feel about meeting a different crew of people in LA. Um, like I have my queer friends in LA, like, but meeting more like queer friends slash allies, um, people that I'd probably routinely hang around with. Um, I don't know how I feel about that. Like I don't think I've honestly met new people since before June of 2022. I want to say it was like near my birthday of like 2021 or something. Like that's the last new person that I think I met, like that I actively tried and like made effort to like get to know. And like actually no, I think one of their friends or acquaintances or whatever, they had some friends that I kind of vibed with because we hung out quite a few times, we interacted, and we had a couple cool interactions. But I missed a window when they invited me to something because I was in LA. And then it was kind of like, I was like, okay, I'll return the invite kind of thing. And I wasn't able to really do that because I wasn't going down to San Diego. And then I remember being like, well, I'll just invite them next time I go like anywhere. And I did, but it wasn't really kind of what they wanted to do. And then I kind of dropped the ball at I kind of missed the mark at one event because I remember when I went to Black Pride in San Diego, I had a table because like me, I don't know how we did this, but me and my friends ended up getting like this gigantic like booth that seated like 6 to 8 people. And like because there was that event, what's it called, open table or whatever, and we happened to hear somebody tell us like, oh, if you just go on open table, because they were like shutting down the club and then you had to re-enter, and so we had to leave, get back in line because they were opening for the night because people had tickets for the night stuff. So you had to go out and then come back in. But then, like, unless you'd already reserved a table, you didn't get a table or anything. And so they were like, they would separate you. Like, if you're going to just drink and just chat and then leave real quick, then they would give you, like, like a taller table. And you would just sit at the table, like, with the bar stools and everything. And, like, it was probably seating, like, 3 people, 4 people, something like that. And then, like, you go into the club. Like, this is outside the club. Then you go into the club, and there's, like, the dance floor and the DJs and everything. And then, so we were outside the whole time because, the Rona. And so this is June of 2022. We're outside, just, like, what were we doing? We were, like we had been outside most of the time. We went inside for some of their performances during the daylight hours. Like, I know I got there around sometime between 5 and 6:30. I got there like, because I remember I ate kind of an early dinner before I left, because I was like, I don't know if there's going to be food there, because this is like a club. And so I went in that time, but it was summer, so the sun was still out. And then, yeah, once the sun started going down, I think for like 9 p.m. or something, they had like like the DJs were starting and everything. And so we all had to leave. But then the thing is, if you came in without a table, it would basically be standing room only on the patio, or the back. I guess they called it a lounge. It was a lounge. This is Riches. So they had that like back lounge where they turned that whole parking lot into like a lounge, like outside. So that small side smoking area, not the front, not the one up front by the sidewalk, but the whole side, if you've ever been there, that whole side smoking area expanded to like that whole like kind of staff parking ish kind of area. And then it was basically just like an outdoor lounge with like nice seating and everything, cabanas, some other types of seating, some screens. There was a back smoking patio to that, and then I think a stage and like all kinds of stuff. And so we were basically able to just go on open table. We got a table. We said it was for, I think, 5 or 6 of us or something. I don't know. Like, there were 3 of us there. But then I think 2 of my friends were going to come. And we were talking to this other lady that was in there. And she was sitting like on the back of our like chairs. And so she's the one who told us, I think, and then about how to get the table. And then she was still sitting on the back of the table when we came back in. But like, to come back in, they were like, or are you guys gonna just have a couple drinks? And we're like, no, we're gonna like stay a long time and like eat a lot and drink a lot and stuff. And so they gave us like the big, like, because I think we said we needed 5 people, but they're like, oh, we only have one that seats like 6 to 8, because it was like 3 cushions and 2 couches, basically, with a table in the middle. On 2, yeah, so I think it was 3 cushions, but it was like big enough to fit more than one person per cushion. And then so we basically had 2 couches and a table to ourselves. And then, so what I'm saying is, where I missed the mark is that I had these people who I met through this other last person that I met, that they were kind of there at that event too, but they didn't have a table. And the whole time it was just me and like my friend and another friend, and then this other lady that we didn't even know, that like just came over and started talking to us for some reason. And she was sitting on the back of our couch, like on the kind of like backrest part, but it's low. It goes to like the bottom of your shoulders when you're like seated, and so like you could sit on the back of it. And so yeah, she was like talking to us, but otherwise we had like plenty of space, because this was only like 2 other people. And I'm like, I totally missed the mark, because I saw them walking around, I saw them standing around, but I should have just been like, hey, do you guys want to come and like sit over here or whatever, you know? So we basically, I don't know, like, I was kind of stoned, so I wasn't really thinking about like inviting them, but I kept seeing them and they were standing, and I was like, man, like they must not have a table or anything. But I was like, well, I know they're in there dancing too, and so I was kind of like, I don't really know. But that would have been the opportunity to invite them, to be like, hey, just if you guys want to grab a seat, we've got plenty of seats. We had so many seats. And then like the waiter told us, we had like this go-go dancer waiter that was like telling us, well, if people come and try to sit in your section, just let us know, because like, I guess, I don't know if they said it because we were buying a bunch of stuff or because they knew that we had reserved it. And so they were like, if people come sit in your section, let us know, and I'll kick them out, so you guys don't have to be like a jerk or whatever. And so whenever they would come to ask us what we needed, like there were people sitting like on the back of the like backrest, and then one of my friends, she was, well, my friend that was there, like one of the two, she was just like, yeah, like, can you ask them to like not sit on our chairs, or like, like, and so like we literally had this whole, like, because we were saying because of the Rona, we wanted to be outside like by ourselves, so we had this whole big space to ourselves, and it was ridiculous. Like it was like the size of like, probably like the size of like almost like a bathroom, like that size of like a whole area just of seating, compared to all the little like bar tables. And so like we had so much seating and so much space, and then like I had a couple friends that came, and by that time I was like so stoned, like I couldn't even like talk, and like I'm not used to staying out late. I think we stayed till like 12:30 just because like we had tickets, and so yeah. But I think those were the last people I met, but that wasn't the last day. No. Yeah, I haven't seen them since that day. I mean, they're online, and I could hit them up online, but it's like when I'm in town, I don't really invite them places, because of the friend I met them through. I kind of don't invite them places because I feel like that would be a little bit awkward. Like, it's different to invite them to something when they're already there, and then my other friend's not there, or when they invited me to like their place. I'm like, that's cool because it's like their place, they can invite me to whatever the heck they want. But I feel like, okay, unless I happen to already be out and run into them, that's a whole different thing. But I'll see if I end up being social, locally. Like, I think I know that I'm saving so much money by not going out. I mean, I still order like Uber Eats and Instacart, but it's like that's the only thing expensive I do during the week, really, like, or weekends, whatever, like, but during the week, just because it's really the only thing that I do. Like, I don't really do like I don't really go do too much other stuff. Like I said, most of my hanging out is like in San Diego or in LA, with people that I already know, usually from San Diego. So I don't know, we'll see. Like, I'm not like against hanging out with the old school crowd. Like, I mean, like old, like the people I grew up with. I'm not like against it. It's just a different crew. Like, we don't really do the same stuff. We don't really do the stuff that I'm used to doing now. And I don't really do that same stuff that I used to do with them pretty much anymore, with pretty much anybody. And so, you know, I think my friends in like Riverside, like the IE, I'll probably be likely to see them. Like, when I go snowboarding, I'll see if I can kind of see them. I think they've got a Saturday night thing going on up there. And it's about maybe 40 minutes from where I'm snowboarding. So I don't really know. I don't really know yet. But I'll see. I'll see if I start getting a little more social. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I know I'm kind of like, my energy's better and I'm much happier when I'm like socializing more. But I really like saving money, and in a way it's saving me a lot of energy. But socializing in my house isn't really the same. Like, I'm not like against my family or whatever, but it's like, it's not really the same social quality for me, I wouldn't say. It's kind of more like, I don't know, like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's hard to explain without sounding rude, if that makes sense. It's like I'm not against talking to my family about things. That's not really the any kind of issue. I just feel like it's kind of like pointless, if that makes sense. Is that the right terminology? Like, I think there's no point to it. Like, they don't really need the information. They don't really request the information. And I can willingly give them any information. But then it's like, on my end, I'm kind of like, well, why? Why would I, like, include them in things that I don't really think they care? Like, one way or the other, I don't really think they're, like, they don't really care to be too involved about it, I guess. They're not, like, annoyed, but they're also not interested, I guess. Like, not interested like they don't care, but just not interested, like, it's not something that interests them, like anything that I do, as far as, like, how my social life is. Like, they kind of understand, like, okay, like, you get degrees or get certificates and do career related stuff. And, you know, if you're going to socialize, like, their understanding of, like, socializing is usually, like, church type, like, organized socializing, I guess you would say. Like, joining something more organized. Like, they would kind of get that more if I joined, like, I don't know, like, one of those, like, lesbian football teams, or, like, if I joined, like, something, not just, like, randomly, like, roaming the streets, like, meeting people in, like, bars and clubs and, like, on apps, like, gay apps and stuff, and, like, through friends of friends. Like, I think to them that's just, like, weird. Like, they're not, like, against it. I just can totally tell that they don't really understand it. It's kind of out of their scope. I don't know if they consider it, like, a risky type of thing. But I don't know how my brother socializes, but I know my sister doesn't really socialize like I do either. Like, my sister's got her partner, and he's got friends, bandmates, family, and they have some friends in common, and, like, school friends, like, university friends. But other than that, they don't really, like, I mean, they're a couple, so they don't really go out, like, meeting random people and stuff. They don't work at the same job, nothing like that. So they kind of have their friends in common, and then they have their, like, separate friends that the close friends kind of know each other. And then they both know both sides of our families. But other than that, I don't think they really get out to do too much. I don't know what my brother does, but I know he does a lot of stuff. He's pretty involved with, like, dance and technology and that kind of stuff, and, music. So I know he's kind of, like, involved with people doing stuff, but I don't know. It sounds like he's more involved with, like, groups of people who do certain stuff, like, even competitively, or even, like, shows are competitive. Like, I'm kind of not really very goal oriented with the people I hang around with. Like, we don't really have, like, goals where we're, like, together, like a dance crew or something like that. Like, we just live life, just casually, and do our own things and catch up, and then make time to hang out when we're gonna hang out, and then that's basically how we roll. But I don't really know. I don't really know if sharing with my folks pretty much about what I do or where I'm at. Like I give them the courtesy of like, okay, I'm going over here with this friend. Like they kind of generally know some of my friends by name, maybe the location that they live in. Like they don't really care to meet any of these people. Like if I brought them over, other than like the Rona related kind of concerns, like if I brought them over, they would be perfectly nice to them. They wouldn't be like rude or mean. They probably wouldn't make much of an effort to like hang out or get to know them or anything. Unless they invited them to dinner, then they might kind of like, try to talk a little bit over dinner, like order pizza, or if my dad decided to cook or something, that's something common that they would likely do. But they wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be planned, and it wouldn't be me being like, oh yeah, come over for this specific reason and we're gonna like have dinner with my parents. Like usually that's something that my folks would be like, oh well, your friends are already over. If you guys aren't going out to dinner, like let me just order a pizza and we'll all just like eat a pizza or something. Like they'll feed everybody, but it's like they're not gonna like hang out, So it's kind of like, that's why I kind of say like, well, why? Like what would be the point in sharing a lot about, like, usually if it's people I hang out with a lot, I'll usually just be like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out over there, or like see this person, um or go see this person, or I'm staying over in this city a couple days because one of my friends from San Diego is coming up and we got plans over there, so I'm just gonna stay over there because they got a hotel and we're just gonna crash. And like I'll tell them when stuff like that, just in case, like, because I like people knowing where I am, but I don't tend to really tell them too much more than that, because I like when I leave the house, if I'm staying somewhere different, I like people to know where I'm at. Just to me, that's just, it's so normal for me to just do that. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm at the Super 8 in this city, and I'll give the address and room number usually. And I'll usually say when I check in and when I check out and where I'm going. But other than that, I'm not really always saying like who I'm with or like what we're doing. Like I might, like, for example, for the Tuesday thing, my folks kind of know that I have a friend in Long Beach that I hang out with on occasion, that I talk to, that, if I was like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with this friend and, grab dinner on a Tuesday night, they would be like, okay, but they've never like met. They've never made any effort to try to meet. I've never really invited, and they kind of don't really, my folks aren't really too into really meeting people that I know, for the most part. I think that they kind of don't see the point as well. Like they don't really care if it's not like unless it was somebody that I was like maybe dating or kind of seriously involved with, I don't really think they would really care to know, or care, like they don't care either way. I would think like I don't think that they're like upset that I don't share more with them, but I feel like I share plenty. Like to me it's like I share plenty. Like I tell them when I go to concerts or like when I go out of town or whatever, like I tell them enough. Like I don't think they're like, if I'm not in town, like when I was living in San Diego, I wouldn't tell them every time I went out, but it's like I feel like if I'm like when I would leave from LA and then drive back to San Diego, I would tell them where I was going. Or even now when I go down to San Diego, I'll tell them like which hotel I'm at this time and like which room number, when I'm checking in, when I'm checking out, kind of thing. But I don't like tell them like the play by play when I'm like in San Diego, like what I'm doing. Like I usually don't, but I might. So yeah, I don't really know, but Um, I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to know. But, yeah. So I kind of wonder, um, I just wonder is all. Like, kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, I'm not really too, like, I find it weird that my folks aren't that social. Like outside of church, they don't really do too much unless they're like working and stuff or people they used to work with. Um, yeah, they don't really do too much. So, like socializing, but I don't know. It's just kind of a little weird to try and really see kind of like I don't know how to navigate certain things socially. It's just like weird. Like cuz I kind of live here. It's temporary, but I'm living here, so it's kind of like okay, like I think we're still trying to figure out the whole dynamics of like cuz nobody really gets in my business, but I kind of when I come and go, I kind of like to tell people like if I go to the gym or something, I'll just like text and just be like gym. Like I don't really say which gym or where I'm at or how long or whatever. It's just like I like people to know that I left the house, you know. I mean they know I'm coming back. Like where else am I gonna go? All my stuff is here. Um, so I you know I feel like that's about as much as they need to know just so they don't worry, so they're not like oh like and it's just like I feel like it's just kind of common courtesy, like just so they don't like worry, like and because I'm willingly like giving the information, like I tell them kind of enough of what I feel like they need to know for us to both be comfortable. Like I don't usually say like the names of the people I'm with all the time. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't think they know who half of these people are anyways. Like they know some of them, I think. Other ones they don't. I've probably shown them pictures of some of them. I don't know if they remember. I'm not a big selfie person, so I don't really tend to take a whole lot of pictures. And I don't know. I don't post a lot on social media either, but my folks are on my social media. Like I have them on my Instagram and my Facebook. So it's kind of like, you know, like whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like weird because I never really thought I'd have to like think much about it. But it is kind of like a strange thing because it's like I kind of can't super have people over. Like just because, you know, my folks are kind of more cautious about the Rona. And so it's not like I can really just have friends over and stuff. And even if I did, I don't know, because they don't leave like they used to. They used to go to church like every Saturday and be out of the house like pretty much from like 9 o'clock in the morning, at least till 1, if not till like later, maybe till 3 sometimes. So I usually had, without fail, every Saturday morning. And then if I was around on a weekday, everybody was working every day. So like 9 to 5, I was pretty much by myself if I was like taking the day off and then coming to visit LA. So it's changed a lot, you know, like I'm not used to being like in the house all the time as much as I am, because usually when I was coming up to LA, I came up to LA because I had specific plans. I wasn't just like driving up like every all the time. Like sometimes I would do it to escape the roommates and just to have like more space, because like if I knew like my folks were going to be out for like the weekend or something, or like sometimes they go out of town for like months, and so I'd just be like, well, I'm just going to come up to LA and just hang out. I remember one summer they were gone for like the whole freaking summer, and that was really fun because it was before the Rona. And yeah, they were out before the Rona, and like out of town like before the Rona. And basically it was during Pride. And I remember that was probably the most fun I had with LA Pride. I didn't fully take advantage of having a house to myself, because I could have had like a party where everybody kind of stayed over. Like I feel like if I'm not regretting it because it was a great time, but if like I basically had 3 friends, queer friends, from, well, we kind of all know each other from LA. So we're all like relatively in LA most of the time. I was the one who was in San Diego. But I mean, I'm the one who had my folks' house, and technically I was closer than all of them to Pride in LA. And even though I don't live in that area at all, but I was technically closer, as far as a place where it was like more central for all of us to leave from my spot. And like, I didn't have anybody in town during that time, so we met before and kind of like, all kind of like found each other from there, and like went up to I don't think it was the parade, because the parade used to be like Sundays, so I think it was Saturday, Pride on Saturday. And then yeah, we had a good time. But if I was gonna do it over again, I would have just told everybody can crash at my spot, and then the 4 of us would have split an Uber to and from, because then we could have had a cheaper Uber, not have to drive, not have to worry. I think we paid $25 parking, maybe $35, I can't remember. It was a lot for its time too, because now if you pay $25 parking, it's like that's normal. But yeah, we paid like that parking, and the driving, and there was traffic. It's like we could have just gotten dropped off, and we could have just gotten picked up. I don't think we ever needed to go back to the car. I can't remember if we walked around or if we drove around. Probably a combo. But if I were to do that over again, I would have probably told everybody if they wanted to, they could have stayed at my spot, because we probably had like 3 extra bedrooms. So yeah, everyone could have used their own bedroom, and we could have shared an Uber and stayed really late, and then just all come back to my spot and just like crashed, and then still had like Sunday morning to just like chill. So that would have probably worked out better to plan it that way. But I'm guessing I probably didn't do that because I was wanting the house to myself, probably. I'm pretty sure I took off a little bit of work, but I think I was probably just wanting the place to myself, because I knew when I was going to go back to San Diego, I'd have like people I was living with. And so, but that used to be the cool part about my folks leaving town, is that I would have pretty much a house that I could go to in LA, and then I would have plans in LA with friends and just like hang out, and then just like go back to my place. And then like sometimes I'd see my folks like when they were coming back to town on Sunday, and then I'd head out and like leave, or I'd see them before they were gonna leave on Friday or whatever, and then I'd have the rest of the weekend the house to myself pretty much. So that was usually pretty nice, but they don't really travel as much. And pretty much before I left San Diego, my social life was, so that's how my social life was before the Rona. In LA, when I came to LA, it was like I had more time alone in LA, even on like, because usually my folks would go out on the weekends, and so like sometimes I'd grab like dinner or breakfast on Sunday, or like dinner on Friday night, or lunch or dinner on Saturday, or whatever, breakfast on Saturday, like whatever, like we'd sometimes get like go out for a meal together, and then like to a restaurant, and then I just basically just be screwing around town for the rest of the weekend. And like my folks kind of were just like doing their own thing. They go run errands and get stuff for the garden on Sundays or whatever, and then they just like be out in the yard all weekend pretty much. So they're a little older now, and so they don't do that as much anymore, and they don't really like go to church physically often. Like they don't go like every single week, like they hardly go. And so now it's like, okay, I'm at the house and they're at the house. It depends like where my dad's working, but he'll be at the house when he's in town, and then it's just me, my mom, and so I'm just like, okay, so that's why I'm just like, okay, like ideally for me, it's like, well, what's the point in sharing too much of like my interactions, because they don't really have a lot of social interacting that they do like they used to, but they don't do that anymore too much. And when it comes to like my so what it was like when I left San Diego. So the place where I was living, I left that place technically in May. Like my physical body no longer stayed at that place, but I had most of my stuff there. So I had a hotel like a little ways away from there, so I could just drop by the house when I needed to, and it was near my work site too, so if I needed to like drop into the office, it was like still pretty close to work. And then I was just working from a hotel basically, and then every now and then I'd go back, do some laundry. But yeah, during May, I don't think it was the whole month, but it was a while, I was basically at a hotel, but all my stuff was still in the house where I was renting a room. And then I think by June 10th, I moved out officially. So I was in LA from like June 10th, and now it's like December. And so like pretty much how things were from like for my social life, like June 10th and before, it was just pretty average. Like I was just I don't remember if there were like any strict like Rona rules around that time. Like it was summer, and there was a surge for sure, but I feel like it was summer, so we were out a lot. So we were basically, I would just go out on the weekends pretty much. Some friends I saw like every other weekend. I think I kind of had like a bit of a rotation of like every other weekend kind of friends, and then certain other friends I would see like during the week. I don't know which days. Like I still consider Friday kind of during the week, even though it's like attached to the weekend. But usually like we could make plans to like meet up during the week, because a lot of us had weekend plans with other people. So we would just be like, yeah, let's like grab dinner, grab a beer, whatever, go to North Park, like whatever. Like we would just, grab a burger, let's go grab some tacos, like whatever. That kind of thing, just like randomly after work. Usually around like 6:30, 7 p.m., something along those lines. And we just kind of go out like that, and then we'd be home by probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, probably 9:30, honestly. And it was just easy to just go out real quick. And then when I would go out on the weekends, it's kind of always the same thing, like Gossip Grill. I had some friends I would go to Betty's with. I had some friends I would go to Flicks with. I had some friends I would go to Rich's with. I had some friends I would go to Uptown Tavern with. Some people crossed over into all of the places. Other people were kind of just like, they just want to chill. But yeah, I was kind of into everything, but the one thing I didn't really do, because I had moved and because I'd already gone to Black Pride, I didn't go to the usual Pride events during San Diego Pride in July. I instead celebrated a friend's birthday and kind of went to the gym and caught up with another friend and went to the parade. That's kind of what I did for my Pride weekend, which is not my norm, but I had so much other stuff going on this summer. I was like, I am not gonna do that. And I didn't go to LA Pride either. I don't know if San Francisco Pride happened, and I didn't go to Long Beach Pride, which is in May. So I skipped a lot of Pride stuff and only really spent like the full day of San Diego's Black Pride. And I think I did try in October the previous year, not this year, but in 2021 we tried to go to Black Pride that was Easter weekend of 2022. We tried to go to Black Pride in Vegas, and then just me and my Vegas friend, and then we did our own Pride thing during October 2021 during Las Vegas Pride. We went to their Pride. I think we had tickets. I can't remember, honestly. So we did that. And then, so that was, when was that? Yeah, but yeah, pretty much what my social life looked like was just like I explained, like some weekday hangouts. And because it's so easy to catch up in San Diego, like these are people that I saw like on a really regular basis. It wasn't like once a year or something. We saw each other probably at least once a month. I would see pretty much everybody at least once a month, because we had so many days a week we could hang out, because it was just so convenient and easy. And so yeah, moving from that to like all the way back to, okay, now I'm like, I have opportunity to either have a social life with the people that that I grew up with, that are kind of just like, yeah, we're kind of like, we're always going to run into each other in life anyways. So I don't really feel like too much of a need to really like rehash stuff. It's like, but we are all kind of in the same city at the same time, so that's kind of weird. The same part of the city too. And so that's really weird. And then so there's that, and then there's the queer friends that I already have in LA. The ones that live closest by, within 15 to 30 minutes. They're the ones that I'd probably see more often, honestly. But as far as like going out and like actually mingling with people outside of them, I don't really see that being more than just like okay, I'll talk to people um during a, if I go out and I feel like I want to meet people and just meet people for the day, then I'll meet people for the day. I'd probably rather keep it at that, honestly, because once I meet people in LA, I don't really think I have the energy anymore to be driving all over LA like I used to and trying to meet people. And especially because it's like I'm not really, I don't really think I'm trying to like stick around in LA. I think it might be, I can't tell if it would be a good distraction or a bad distraction. Like, I don't know if it would like take me off the path of my current goals of doing what I'm doing for financial reasons to like move back to San Diego, or if it would make me want to stay in LA longer because I met some new people. I don't think there's anything wrong with either one. I mean, once I have the pay rate, I could basically live in either city. It wouldn't really matter. But it's kind of funny. I always saw myself coming back to LA, but it was with the same social group that I had when I had first left, which was mostly the people I grew up with and the people I went to school with or whatever, that I had met through college, grad school, whatever. That crowd of people just scattered all throughout LA, and then leaving and meeting a bunch of great people who most of them are still kind of in San Diego. Some people, I've got a few, I think I've got like 3 or 4 groups of friends in like Orange County, and then a couple up in LA that are from of my San Diego crew, of those people. And so I feel like a lot of them left. I mean, a lot of them stayed. Some of them, a handful left. But they're still like within range of people I can definitely still see. So yeah, I just feel like it's a little weird. So yeah. Yeah, there's people that I know that if I did, just hypothetically speaking, I'm not really expecting to move back to LA, but hypothetically speaking, there are people that I know if I did move back to LA, I wouldn't see some of those San Diego people often unless I literally visited. Like, I know they don't come to LA that often, but most of my friends who go to concerts, they're the ones that are the easiest to see, because it's like they, eventually it's just easy to just like pop into the same show that somebody's gonna like and just make friends to be in the same city at the same time. Make plans to just be in the same place at the same time as the people. So that's a little easier, because it's like, well, if we're all gonna go to the show anyways, might as well like meet up or get the same tickets or whatever. So it's kind of like I was thinking about that. I was thinking about kind of how things change, like the categories of the changes, and just kind of recognizing that, I guess I'll see if I start feeling social again. I mean, I'm not really into the online thing anymore, honestly. It's just, it's changed. Like, I don't think it's me, honestly. Because I'm hearing the same thing from a lot of people, that it's not the same on some of the queer apps, meeting people on them. Like, I really feel like I hit the last time period. The last person I met was from online, near my birthday of 2021. I really don't know when. It was like summer 2021. I don't remember when at all. But I know it was near my birthday, because I remember I was doing karaoke that year, And I remember mentioning karaoke. Like, I wasn't inviting them, but I remember mentioning it. And yeah. And so, yeah, that person that I met was through an app. And I mean, I'm still talking to that person, but they're the last person I met off of an app. And ever since then, I mean, the second person before that, not the second, I don't know how to label it, but like the person I was talking to before that, we stopped talking around like April-ish, and we had started talking like 2021, no, 2020. We started talking in 2020, and it was before the lockdowns, but it was maybe like towards the beginning of 2020, because I hadn't switched jobs yet. Yeah, so it was towards the beginning of 2020, and we stopped talking in March, May. So it must have been April of 2021. So yeah, we talked for a pretty long time. We had a good thing going. And then they moved, and then the next person I met was near like that summer. So I met two great people kind of longer term between 2020 and 20. Yeah, like so 2021 was the last time I actually met somebody decent. And before that, 2020 was the last time I met somebody decent. But it was consistent. Before 2021, I was like consistently meeting people online as well as in person. But I feel like it was different, like San Diego in person. Because I was in San Diego, everything was just so easy. It was just easy to meet people. Because I had the energy to do it, because everything was like right there. And also having like no real desire to like be home all the time too, that kind of helped. I was like, well, I'd rather just go out. So, and because I was so consistently doing it, I didn't really have a lot of stuff that I was doing at home because I was going out all the time. So, I wasn't really like home doing like specific things. Like I wasn't studying, I wasn't doing anything where I needed to like be home too much. Other than when I had to sleep, I had to go home. So basically, yeah, I didn't really have too much stopping me in San Diego. And then I feel like coming to LA, it is a little different because I don't really have spaces that are easy to hang out with. The easiest option would be to just invite people over, but I can't really even do that because like there's almost always somebody here, and the people here don't really necessarily want guests. I mean, I think they just don't want guests, but I think, the Rona is a decent excuse because I also don't want to get that either. So I do kind of see the point that like it's not maybe the smartest idea to have people over all the time, especially because my job is pretty mostly remote, like probably 98% remote. Like I go into the office maybe a max once a month. And so yeah, we're not really too strict with too many things, but I'm like I don't know, I don't really think I want to start inviting people over anyways. So yeah, we'll see. I don't really know if I'm gonna be too interactive. Like I kind of like some of the stuff that I haven't really gone to yet in LA, like the taste events, a lot of the lesbian run events around LA. I do want to get out to some of them, quite a few of them. And I've noticed there's some local stuff. I think Landon Cider has something going on. I can't remember what or where. But there's a lot of stuff coming up and a lot of stuff kind of going on already in LA that I'll definitely be interacting with. I just don't know if I'll be interacting too much with people I don't know. And if so, to what extent? I'm probably just gonna wing it, in all honesty. Like, I never really go in with much of an agenda, but I'm just kind of thinking things through. Like, I like to think things through before it happens so that I'm not just like running around in the middle of something and being like, why am I so stressed out about this? It's like, oh yeah, I remember now, because I already knew I wasn't going to have the energy to do it. So I don't really want to open up a can of worms kind of thing. I don't know. I tend to meet people that really want to hang out too. I don't know why that is. Like, I don't know. Like, I can kind of really turn the social off and on. Like, I'm kind of like, lately it's been off. Like, lately I've just been like, but, lately I've just been sticking to people I know. I don't really know if I want to meet new people. Like it would take more time, effort, money, energy, but I also get energy from hanging out with people too. And especially because most of the time, like, up until I was up, other than roommates, and other than like up until like June, when I first was coming back up to LA, and like the first maybe couple months of summer like in LA, that was a little difficult to try to figure out, especially because like usually my summers are like filled with like pride events, 4th of July related stuff, and my birthday related stuff, other people's birthdays. And so usually June, July, August, we're just like, we have some routine stuff that I'm usually going to participate in every year, pretty much, like pride events, different kind of holiday events, birthday events, stuff like that. It's like the same time every year. So I don't really know if I don't really know what we're really gonna, like, what I'm really gonna be kind of getting up to. We'll see. It's gonna be weird socializing on a Tuesday too. That's why I'm taking a half day on the next day. I don't want to risk it with work, because my energy's so weird lately. Like, I could totally see myself, like, that would, just knowing me, that would be like the first time that I happen to like oversleep past 8 a.m. and then end up sleeping till like 9:30 and missing like the first like 90 minutes of work or something. Like, I never even sleep till 8 a.m. even on a weekend. It's like, it's very rare that I'll sleep that late. Like, usually at least by 7:30 I'll be up. It's very rare that I'm gonna wake up at like 9 or something, like as my initial wake up. Like, usually I'm up with the sun. Like, even if I sleep at 3 a.m., like, usually I wake up so early. So yeah, but knowing my luck, that would be my luck, is that I just oversleep. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm gonna see what I end up doing with it. Mostly I'm just glad to go to like different queer bars and meet different queer/ally people, and hang out with some queer friends of mine. That's always going to be awesome just in itself. And then Like, I don't know. I'll see. I don't know. Socializing is weird. It's kind of weird when I'm not really going out a lot too, and I'm not really doing a lot of like different stuff. And it's kind of, I don't really like those career conversations, like with people I don't really know. Like, to me, I don't really like the whole like, what job do you do, and where'd you go to school, and what part of the city do you live in, and like, and talking like career shop kind of stuff, and like talking about like, what you're doing and where you want to work, and like where you're working and all. Like, that to me isn't really conversations I want to be having like early. And I feel like that's pretty much all I have to say, because that's all I do right now is I just like work, other than when I'm like going to concerts and that kind of stuff. But that's rare. Like, I'm not going to concerts like even every weekend. Like, I wish it would be possible to do that, but like, I have a friend who literally goes probably almost every single weekend, goes to concerts. And so concerts, festivals, like whenever I'm online, I'm like, damn, he went to another great one. Like, he's it's just always good stuff, and he's always like upfront. Lucky guy. But I just think it's kind of something I'd have to see, like how it all pans out. I mean, it would be pretty cool to just meet people to go to concerts with. Honestly, that would be like the easiest thing to do. It's just like go to shows with people, like local shows, even the little local shows. Like, that would be pretty cool. Just local DJs too. There's a lot of like queer DJs around LA, and so just going to see them, or like some of the lesbian DJs and stuff, and just, I mean, a lot of them play in Hollywood, but they play other places too. And it would be cool to just go to some of those events, because, I don't know. Like, that's how I think. I'm like, well, if I was going to socialize, that's kind of what I would do more of. But I don't really know. It sounds like once I kind of open Pandora's box, like, I think I could easily get the thing. I don't know if I'm easily getting used to it, but I've been to a lot of shows in LA. Even when I was in San Diego, I've been to shows in LA, and I've kind of almost always done that, even before, like, even when we went to Christian concerts and stuff all the time, and we were still going to shows. Like, we would go to shows a lot. It's just part of the culture of LA. You go to shows, like, almost everybody goes to shows. And so, because it's so easy, like, they're all over the city. Even if you just want to go to like a jazz bar, open mic, and that kind of stuff, like, there's so much creative stuff all over the city. And I definitely missed doing that kind of stuff in San Diego. Like, I knew people who did stuff, but it was like, it's not the same. The crowds aren't the same. The etiquette's not the same. I'm not saying people in LA don't drink, because they definitely do, but I feel like San Diego's like alcohol culture kind of, I'm not against alcohol, but San Diego's culture of like the breweries, breweries, I've noticed at like stadiums and like venues and stuff, they kind of tend to have like a lot of those brands around, like hosting booths and stuff, which is fine. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like people maybe drink more. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like in San Diego people drink more at shows, and then it kind of creates a different vibe when people are like into the music versus like, I don't know, because people in LA drink too, but it's just different. Like, you don't really go there for like that bar feel. Like, you go to the concert because it's the concert. Like, and I drink at concerts sometimes. I'll get a beer, or I will get whatever, and I'll have edibles, I'll have like whatever kind of thing. psychedelics. I'm not really against it. Like, I'm not gonna get like so far gone. Like, I'm not trying to be like super high, but like just a little bit, just enough to like tweak the experience a little bit. But I don't really know. I don't really know. Like where. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I really don't know. Kind of like really what I would be doing with all that. Like, yeah, I don't really know. It's hard to think about having the energy for all that again. While living in LA, while working, and while having money to actually do it. Because it was different before. Like, I was like not really working full time, like as a full time employee, making like, I don't make like great money, but it's like decent enough money that I'm not going to be like hurting if I go to a concert. Like, I don't have to like save for a few paychecks or anything. Like, I can afford it. Like, I have money set aside for concerts because it's just something I know I'm going to do. I have money that I set aside every year for snowboarding, money every year for concerts, and then Pride. Those are like the three things I usually set money aside for anyways. And there's going to be a couple things I'm going to add to the list. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, I'm kind of trying to be a little open-minded about it and just kind of going with the flow. Like, usually, I don't know, my mind works weird with stuff, and usually I'm like, okay, if an opportunity is arising and it keeps coming up over and over again, because this isn't the first time something like this has kind of come up, so I'm kind of like, okay, like, this just kind of keeps coming up, like, in different ways. Like, it's the same theme, but like it's coming up in different ways. So I'm like, okay, like maybe I should just check it out and see where it goes. I'm not really like opposed to hanging out with people, meeting new people. It's something I'm used to. I don't really think I'm nervous about it. That's not really, I'm not nervous about meeting new people. I'm more nervous about getting distracted by them, or I mean, distractions aren't always a bad thing, honestly. I think sometimes distractions help me focus a little more. Like, there's that kind of like, okay, you went out, you did this, you had your fun, now get back to work. Like, that really helps me more than just like having a lot of free time but not really burning off the energy, if that makes sense. And then just being like, okay, I had a lot of free time, but it's like, what did I do, you know? Like, I kind of like to do stuff. And even if it's just like with myself, like, I don't mind just going around town doing whatever, but like usually, like, I don't really have people out here that I routinely hang out with, that I routinely go to the same spots and do the same stuff. Maybe there's like one person that I do that with, and so which is fine. Like, I'm not trying to like look for way more people, but I don't know, I've always kind of liked having like a pretty large crew in LA. That's kind of something that was nice when I was visiting, because then I'd always have plans in LA, so it was always nice to just be like, yeah, I live in San Diego, but come up to LA once or twice a month, you know, and like do whatever with whoever, and like that was always fun. But I'm just wondering how it's gonna look now, like how it would be, because everything's like so different. I'm like, it's kind of like exciting. I'm not like nervous about it at all. I'm just kind of like, it's just kind of interesting to think of like how things have changed so much since like 2019, and then looking at now, and it's like, oh my gosh, like Like the whole like social landscape of my life is like completely different than it was just a couple years ago. And even like how I meet people is different. Like, and I don't know if the reasons I meet people, if that's different. Like sometimes I can take it or leave it with people, honestly. I don't know if that's a good thing, but like I don't mind meeting people and having like a really good time for like 2 weeks and then just be like, yeah, like we live really near each other and like we just started like hanging out and like grabbing coffee after work or like whatever. And then we just like stop talking to each other. It's kind of like whatever. Like sometimes I'm just like, that's cool, you know? It was just fun. Like I like meeting people like that too sometimes. But I don't know. Like I don't really even know. Like I don't think I've ever really been too much in a spot where I didn't really care to meet people. Like I think I was always like meeting people just naturally. This is another one of those opportunities, but I think it has been like a long time since I've actually like gone out to meet people. Like not like I'm hanging out with the friends I usually hang out with and I happen to meet people while I'm out with them, but more so I'm going out to like meet people, like people that I know about that know about me that we don't really hang out. So it's kind of like that's a whole different thing lately. Like I haven't done that lately. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wish it was going to be on like a Friday or Saturday, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be just simple and straight to the point. It can't get drawn out if it's on a Tuesday, right? But yeah, I don't really know. I'm just gonna decide if I'm gonna Uber or not. The more likely I am to drink, the more likely I am to get like in a social mood. I just don't want to like screw things up for work the next day, because even if I'm starting at noon, I'm still gonna need to be like pretty functional, and I don't know if I'm gonna function too good. But yeah, I think I should make the decision to drink. That's what I think I should do. I think I should Uber to and from, even if it's a lot. I'm willing to pay probably $40 to $50 worth of Ubering, because I'm not going to do this often. It's probably going to be a Christmas themed thing, and then going to that and Ubering to and from. I think that's going to be my best bet, because I could just make the most of the social environment and not worry too much about like the parking and stuff. Like I don't think after work I'm going to really want to drive. In all reality, that is the least appealing thing about thinking about the whole thing, is just the driving. Even though there shouldn't be traffic, it's gonna be night, and I'm like, you know, I'm not like a complete night owl, so driving back around 9-10:30 after being up all morning is just not gonna really appeal to me. So I might as well Uber if it's going to be within that price range. And then, yeah, just grab dinner and have a good time. Grab dinner, grab a drink or two, and, have some little Christmas Taco Tuesday dance party situation going on. And then go back home and sleep and wake up and go to work. That sounds like what the plan's gonna look like. But I don't know. I'll just take it from there. I'm not really gonna think too much into it, really. But that's just Like, I don't know. That's kind of my thought process about my social life related stuff. Like, I'm not really too concerned. I've still got a lot of social opportunities. It's just, I don't really know too much what I think about just like meeting people out in the wild all of a sudden. Like, I'd kind of rather meet people in San Diego, honestly. But when I go down there, it's like I'm usually trying to catch up with people. I'm not trying to like go out and like prowl around town or anything. But it's like, well, if I'm gonna go back there, that would definitely motivate me to come back faster. But I don't know, like, we'll see how it goes. It'll be cool to go to like a different queer space. That'll be pretty dope. And so that's mostly what I'm looking forward to. And I don't know. I think that's about all on that. But all right. So for now, thanks for listening.